That our intimacy, for example, you find a way. Mobility equipment, some of them can be very handy in a certain environment. You find a way.
You're going to have to give us more details on this. There's a lot.
Disability is creativity. To navigate a society that's not built for you. We cross oceans of pain and sorrow on a daily basis. You know, but we keep swimming.
David Holmes was the stunt double for Daniel Radcliffe in the first 6 Harry Potter films. Following an accident while filming a stunt test for the 7th film, he broke his neck, sustaining a high-level spinal cord injury, which means he's paralysed from the point of injury down, affecting every aspect of his day-to-day life. In 2023, David launched a documentary about his injury and life, David Holmes, The Boy Who Lived. He'd resigned himself to being single before he met Rosie Mays, because he always felt like he wasn't good enough when he dated non-disabled women. Rosie Mays sustained a similar injury in 2009 when involved in a car accident, and together, for the first time, they talk about the power in finding each other. And in part 2 of this podcast, we find out how their relationship brings them strength, and we tackle the reality of life as a spinal cord injured couple.
Your book really resonated with me. I found myself almost mirroring your life to it. I'm an ex-gymnast, did from the age of 5 to 16, on track for like the Commonwealth Games. But then when I became paralysed, I lost my life. I'm listening to that part of your life as well, and it hits so hard. That immediate shock of, oh my God, what's happened, is something that obviously everyone deals with it in a different way. How did you initially take that when you were facing this potential future?
We've all been there, right? You're newly injured. What's as painful as reflecting on your own life and the loss that you've experienced is the pain in your loved one's eyes. That hurts loads. Yeah. So we internalise our own struggles and we put a brave face on for the ones that love us. I remember explicitly saying to my work colleagues, my mum and dad, I'm alive. I survived a broken neck. You know, and it was just the time afterwards that I needed, but that instant acceptance for and being brave for my loved ones was the first step on that journey when you're not taking your own steps. And would you say the same?
Yeah, definitely, in that like my family and friends' support just got me through everything in there. Well, to this day, but at first as well, I just felt like, because I'd still got them and their love, like that was everything. And even though it was such a hard time, I never had a doubt about that I wanted to get back to recovering and feeling good again, because I had that and it grounded me, and always has done, and Dave's now part of that for me as well.
Yeah. You for me make me stronger every day, make me want to fight every day, a reason to get out of bed, a reason to and not my sole reason to live, but a very big part of it. Yeah, like I say, it's a privilege to share life with you and the ones that love us. And in the early days, to be able to show those people that are mourning for us as we are mourning, that we're still happy to be here. You know, take a breath. As we take that breath, someone else on this planet's taking their last right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like when you feel the weakest at the beginning, it's hard to think that you can ever kind of recover yourself, and you feel like you'll never be yourself again, but you are still the person that you always were, just different and stronger, if anything, even though that's the last thing you feel like at the time. But all in time, it is a strength that will build everyone that this happens to. Will find that if they just got to keep going at first, like keep fighting and knowing that there's people that love them and that want to support them, because they're out there for everyone.
And you just find a way. You just find a way in all aspects of life. You're forced to be creative. Disability is creativity. To navigate a society that's not built for you, to navigate like your relationships, your friends, everything. Like, you know, just that our intimacy, for example, you find a way. You know, like there's this mobility equipment, some of them can be very handy in a certain environment, you know what I mean? Most people dream of having like rooms dedicated in their house with all equipment that can assist them to have more fun with their partner. And you know, we worked out it's a default for us because we've got to use the thing to get in and out of bed anyway. So you find a way.
You're gonna have to give us more details on this. There's a lot of people out there who are thinking, oh, I'm now paralysed, well, how am I going to do this?
Yeah, so, you know, we have to hoist in and out of bed, but it's basically a harness and a suspended swing that lifts you out of your wheelchair into a bed. That can be used in a very fun and, you know, interactive and, you know, intimate way. And like, you find a way. We're fortunate enough to have certain people in our life that we feel comfortable enough to assist us in that environment. But we would say to anyone, what is the difference with you helping with our bowel care, which makes us feel way worse and way more intrusive, and there's no fun part about that. You know, someone sticking their hand up your backside. We both have had more hands up our arse than the cast of Muppets. The other, like in intimacy, you know, you can put us in a position and leave the room and we can feel good about living in our bodies. We can reconnect with our bodies below our level of injury, something we would never have dreamed of. And we have a very profound and very wonderful sexual relationship that for anybody who's newly injured thinks that's gone, and it's a large part of being a human being. You know, it's not gone, it's just, you know what, it's even more fun, I'd say. It's even more creative, it's even more of a deeper connection.
I love how openly you talk about bowel management, bladder management, sex, sexuality, relationships, intimacy. These should not be taboo subjects.
No, it's the truth of being a human, isn't it?
Yeah, we're all human, we all have desires, wants, fancies, drives, whatever it is.
It's a work in process, and we are both very grateful for those who help us live our life. Very, very grateful. Yeah, last night we had a conversation about something that's deeply affecting our relationship that brought us both to tears over it. But we are stronger because we've had that conversation. And we now are, we are a collective force in what we want to achieve in our life. And all aspects of it, not just intimacy, not just logistics, but all aspects of us being a couple. And I'm not afraid of the hard work.
One of the things that you mentioned in The Boy Who Lived was about that being present, and that really struck. And I'm just wondering, amongst all of this, amongst all of these daily challenges that you face, how do you just find yourself in the present moment? What are some of the ways that you do that?
Big thing for me is to be outside. I mean, it's November now, and so the chances we get to be sort of out of the walls of a building and outside is restricted, and so much about the injury is affected by things like temperature and light, like energy levels, pain, temperature control, things like that. So that's a big one for me and for both of us, is to get in the fresh air when you can and feel the sun on you. And that's the time when I feel sort of the most present with the world and peace with myself, especially when you can either be alone, independent or when we're together. That's important to me.
And for me, my coping strategy has always been, when I was bullied at school, I was able to, and it's not just one coping strategy, but one of them, I was always able to internalise that by working harder on myself, my physical self. That's not stopped, I just do it in a different way, you know. So I am, again, very fortunate enough to have a room upstairs where I can steam myself to 50 degrees in the room, and I sit there in that room and I'm like, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. And I'm like, no, I got this. Like, and it's hard. And then with my physio, I sit at the bottom of my swimming pool and I hold my breath for as long as possible. And yeah, I can do over 4 minutes, which most able-bodied people can't
can do
do.
that.
Yeah. But every time my body's going, you're not breathing, you're not breathing, you're not breathing, the little old me, you know, in there is going, I've got this, you know. And then together, like together in front of the fire, together in the sun, together in nature, like together watching films, listening to music, connecting over art. You know, art is the greatest thing that we do as human beings. If you're not making something, you're just taking something from this world. And we both appreciate other people's art and live our lives through the lens of art. We romanticize ourselves, our lives together and our future that we want. Never stop creating, even if you can't hold a pen, you still can, or hold a paintbrush, you can still paint.
I think that's one of the things that I notice about a lot of people who really thrive after spinal cord injury. It's that mindset piece. It's that finding the moments and the coping strategies to help them move through the difficult times, but also then finding those things that you're passionate about and then pouring into those passions. So I'm curious, like, what are some of the things that you, in terms of passion and purpose, what are some of the things that you really love and enjoy and that, keep you motivated and inspired?
Well, when I was first injured, I was in my second year of university. I was studying history at York University at the time, and after my injury, as a result, I had to leave that course because I was in hospital for 9 months and wasn't able to continue it at the time. But the year after I left hospital, I went back to uni, started again from the beginning. Closer to home, so I was studying in Sheffield and completed my degree, and that was a really important thing to me, which I knew that I just really wanted to continue with. And I still love to study and love to learn. That's always a huge passion of mine and something that I always want to be learning more about the world. And just like to do.
Very, very,
Smart
very,
cookie.
very, very clever. I mean, school for me wasn't education wasn't the safe place. My gymnastics club was. And then, I chose to go and set myself on fire for a living. But life, because of the industry I work with, life educated me a lot, just through that. But you always humble me with, your vocabulary, your understanding, your way of seeing and making sense of certain environments, and your emotional intelligence. The fact that I will blurt quickly and you'll get an emotional reaction, and you take your time to digest and to understand something and to get the well-reasoned argument out. So I think that's our yin and yang as a couple.
Yeah, it works for us.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think that's something that we really kind of balance with each other as well. Yeah.
And I'm still creating. When we're not together, I'm at work. I'm currently writing my kids' book. I write a screenplay every 3 months as a pitch deck. I'm always trying to get creative projects off the ground. I'm still got one toe in the stunt industry with supporting my peers. I've still, you know, represent the Harry Potter community as best I can with my connection to it and what that means to a lot of people. And I try, you know, for all those people that are going to watch this interview, those films mean a lot to a lot of people. That story, that character, you know, I was very fortunate to wear the glasses and the scar, and there are kids right now in conflict zones watching those films, and it makes them feel safe. And I'm very proud of my involvement into it, even though I paid the ultimate price because of it, you know, which was not my fault. I had no control over what happened to me. The only control I had was that I picked a risky job. But I tried to be representing that, you know, and my association with that in the best possible light. I tried to represent our community in the best possible light. And despite what the newspapers think, I am not a victim of my disability. I am a victor, and I am a bigger victor because you're in my life. And I will continue to accomplish and work hard so that all people who don't realise that this can happen to them will be grateful that there are people like us willing to have interviews like this, and yourselves willing to champion, you know, our community and the wider world for acceptance of us for who we are, how we are.
I have to say, I'm a massive Harry Potter fan. Love it, always have done. And you've brought the Harry Potter world and the disabled community together and given so many people an insight into, you know, how complicated life can be after injury. Tell us about that.
Well, some of the things that hurt me a bit is a certain politicised issue associated around those, those stories. And I will say to all people that disability does not discriminate, doesn't matter. Age, sex, gender, race, all of you can be part of our club. You are also a big Potter fan, aren't you?
Yes.
And
I always have been.
there is nothing more beautiful to me, nothing, to know that that is your safe space and has been for a very long time.
Yeah, grew up with it, and you know, it's always been something, stories that have just been with me since I was like 10 years old.
So I have been there for her.
Yeah.
In her really tough times. What a wonderful, humbling, beautiful thing to be able to be part of that. So I'm always grateful for that. Yeah.
You've been there, I would say, in the past, I would say through Harry Potter, but how often do you think about your future and what that's going to look like?
I think about it a lot more positively now, definitely. It was always, since my injury, something that I tried to avoid thinking about, really, beyond kind of the next few years. I just always have trying to focus on what's my next project, rather than thinking many years in the future. And then, immediately post-injury, sort of going through my 20s, trying to think like the future to me then is like, how do I keep up with what everyone else is doing, and that go back to festivals, go to gigs, and like do all the things that you want to do when you're young, but you don't really feel like, am I really part of this anymore? Because it's not just easy to go out till 3 a.m. and just sit there in a club and not be able to dance. Like, it's just disconnected then. So it was always a bit uncertain, like, how am I going to kind of reconcile who I always was with who I am now, having that future together, and hopefully us being able to have more of a shared life the more that time goes on as well, with us living so far apart now and there being so many difficulties. We just keep working on that future together.
Yeah, and for me projects all the time. There's not a week that goes by that I don't think of something that I want to do creatively or for our community. But our long-term future, my driving force is for us to be together as much as possible for, now until, the last breath we get to draw on this planet. And we was holding each other the other day, and I said, you know what, like, we're all just monkeys on a rock spinning through space, right? And something can come right down and wipe us out in 2 seconds and we're none the wiser. And I said, well, at least right now we'd hold each other like the old couple on the Titanic.
That's my first image that came to my head then.
I'd be happy to go that way. I'd be happy to go that way. So working for a life to always facilitate that is, and in doing so, the hope, joy and happiness that brings me to picture our future together.
Yeah, because like the future's a hard thing to think about after injury, because that like hit with the sense of your own mortality, aren't you? And you think, oh my God, like, you're just going along in your life and then something hits you and you realise that you're not invincible and that these things come to you, and you know that then as you get older, those challenges like health, that's the thing that you can value the most when you have it. And you know that that's a challenge as you get older and you kind of face with that before the time when you normally would be, really. It's a bit of a strange thing in your head to have to deal with.
If you were to have like a closing message, there's someone who's in their hospital bed at the moment who's had a life-changing injury or diagnosis, what's one message of hope that you might offer them?
Try not to become so overwhelmed with everything that's happened to you, because it's a thing that you can't fix. Like, a spinal injury is not a curable thing, but it's something that you always know that you can grow with it, and that you can just try and take things little bit by bit. I always used to think about it, and just like small milestones in your journey. And sometimes you're on the up, a lot of times you're not. You feel like things are just getting more on top of you. But just that bit by bit, just keep working and keep knowing where you want to get, and you'll eventually find yourself with that level of acceptance enough to know that you are still the person, and you have so much value and so much to bring to the world as well.
First and foremost, forgive yourself for finding it hard. It's hard, there's no denying it, but life's hard. It's a gift, to be able to exist on this planet in this time. And like, the lesson of life that we have all learned is things are going to be taken away. But that is true for all human beings. It will take, the ones you love. It will take the health that you've taken for granted, and it will take, your life eventually. So don't think that you are alone in that journey of loss, because all of us will get it. And from a man's perspective, like, when all things you identify about your masculinity, I mean, I was a stuntman, and I had the life that, most little boys would dream of. And it really was the best of journeys like any young man could ever have. And then I lost it. But in losing it, I became a better man. It made a man of me, breaking my neck where I once was a child. Now I'm a man. And it's because it forced my hand instead of accepting it and slowly learning who you are. You're forced to sit with your problems very quickly. And I've learned to address my problems and anything that's sitting on top of me as fast as possible, so that the sense of presence and the sense of self can be retained as best as possible. So do not give up. Forgive yourself and be grateful that you survived it, because some people don't.
Beautiful, wonderful. Thank you so much.
I've got a little somebody with legs, please. I bought a little
I love
present
that. Somebody with legs, yes.
you.
Use it all the time. Someone
Thank
with arms,
you.
someone with legs.
So I bought a little plant for you because I saw on your doc that you're a
Let's
plant
make
father.
you happy.
So this is actually like plant babies from Stanmore.
Love it.
So Horatio's Gardens.
I'm an ambassador, aren't I? So,
yeah. So this is what I had when I was in Horatio's Gardens, and they had babies. So this is Stanmore grandbabies, especially for you.
Lovely. Very, very nice. And what a wicked charity, just like the SIA. You know, it's a really good thing that they give to the community, and what a great way to honour from a very large tragedy, Dr. Olivia and David, like to honour their son in such a way is it's very humbling, and we're all lucky that there are good humans like that existing in this planet. They are good caregivers and NHS workers that are not bound by the failing government systems, but by the fact that their fundamental core is that they care. You know what I mean? So we care for each other, we care for our community, and we care for ourselves as individuals. And eventually, whoever's watching this, you will get to that point. You just have to be prepared for the hard work.
Well, you're both fantastic ambassadors of many causes, so thank you so much for sharing everything today with us. It's been brilliant.
Thanks for, appreciate it. It's nice to give back, right?
We hope you enjoyed this episode of I Didn't Plan on This. If so, please like, comment and share.
If you or someone you know is living with a spinal cord injury and they need support, the Spinal Injuries Association is here for you. Our vision is a fulfilled life for everyone living with spinal cord injury. If you'd like to support us or find out more about the vital work that we do across the UK, please visit our website at spinal.co.uk.